Hello and welcome to another video. So in this one we're going to be looking at Daily Race B at Dragon Trail Seaside and am I a dirty driver? So let's have a look. So start off with a qualifying lap. So I used the Viper here. So really revving it out. Get on that curb to pull you around. I'm used the yellow, orange marker on the left, but you can use the curb. Cut as much as you can and on the power as soon as you can to get round. And then coming around to this right hander here, you need to either cut it fully or not at all. If you partially cut it, you'll bounce the car. It turned in as soon as possible for that corner. And then coming down to the S's, which is where I always struggle, but I've improved this time. I think coming through the S's, a drop to fourth, a little bit of on and off the brake. As fast as you can, back up into fifth. Carry as much speed as you can through the S's. To get as much speed down to this sharp right hander at the bottom of the hill, braking just after the 150 board, down to second. So just overcook it a little bit there, so we couldn't stay fully on the power on the exit, so lost a bit of time there. And then flat all the way through here and flat through the second part if you can. Should have turned in a little bit earlier there maybe, but got away with it. And again, just revving the car out as far as you can. Braking just before the curb. Turn in and down into second and try and clip the apex and accelerate out as soon as you clip the apex. And then just a run to the line. Let's see what time it is. It's a 1:44.391. And as you see here, going into the first race there, Just Dio. Super dirty is what he said to me after the race, so let's have a look at it and let me know what you think. You see in this one we're starting second and Just Dio's there in fifth. We've got brake balance on +3 is what I use for quali, but in this first race and the next race I found it a bit happy on the back end, so I dropped to +2, and in the second race you see in this video I was using +2 instead of +3. So away we go. So trying to get into the slipstream of the car in front if we can as soon as possible. And it's always awkward this first corner where to brake on the first lap depending where you start, so I always take it nice and easy. It's not too bad that time, but the guy behind clearly got a much better run through than we did. He was a bit braver on the brakes. But we're still in the slipstream of the car in front, but the guy behind goes a bit deep there into the right hander. So coming into the S's for the first time. A little bit slower than quali. As I say, if you get a slower entry, it's not worth risking cutting that curve. If you get a fast entry, you'd have to cut it to try and get the best run, or you risk running wide. And braking here, but you see the TT behind goes for a late move, which I wasn't really expecting, so last minute just about give him enough room. So now we're on the outside, but we are just ahead of him. So we are going to take the risk and stay in 2 by 2. Just lift on the exit to try and give him room on the outside. But oh, looks like someone might have hit the wall behind there. Don't know what happened, but look behind, someone's got a 3-second penalty, so we'll look at that. So I'm braking as late as we can in TT, which I should have known with him being in a TT that he's got much better brakes and he would be braking later, but I wasn't expecting that move, but it was a good move. But we're side by side now. I think there's a car width there. We do give each other space, but unfortunately this is the reason you can't really go side by side. One of us should have backed out, and you can argue which one of us should have backed out. I can give, inside car, inside for the first, so he shouldn't back out, but me, I was slightly ahead and I had the inside for the second, so why should I back out? So but you see, just got a tap from behind after clipping the wall, and That sent him straight into the chicane of death, unfortunately. But look from the car behind here, he doesn't really back off till late, and to be honest, I think really JVDH should have probably backed off a bit more, seeing two cars in front side by side there. He should have been worried that one of them might end up hitting the wall, and obviously if you back off a little bit you got more chance of not being involved in it, and that's why he's picked up the 3-second penalty. But it's unfortunate. But I think really there, 50-50 me and the other guy, you know, we were both too stubborn to back out, and unfortunately for him, unfortunately for me, I survived and he didn't. But that's the death chicane all over. You do that, one of you might survive, at least one of you is not going to survive anyway, but sometimes neither of you will survive. So, but I do think we both tried to give each other room there, so I think that was just tough racing in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Was that super dirty, as just Dio said at the end of the race? Again, not a particularly good run into the S's. I shouldn't have gone for the cut there because I wasn't going that fast, but I did. And as you see, the risk that you take going for that method, half a second penalty, which is why if you're not at the optimal speed into the S's, it's not worth doing that cut because it's too much of a risk to get a penalty. So just Dio is just behind us now, so we need to get a gap to try and serve this half a second penalty and stay ahead of him. We've got a good run through the chicane of death that time because we're on our own, and we're gaining on the car in front, and we're losing just Dio behind, who's in a TT by the looks of it, which the Vipers, in my opinion, is much better through the chicane of death than the TT is. You can go flat without a worry at all, in my opinion. The same as the GTR, but you see the GTR there went for that cut that you sometimes do in qualifying, half a second penalty. Again, that in the race, not worth it because you gain hardly anything, and if you misjudge it, you're going to get half a second penalty, so not worth it. But now we're looking, can we stay ahead of Just Dio when we serve our penalty? But we know we're going to keep touch with the guy in front because he's got a penalty to serve. But as you see, he only half cuts that corner there, and he gets a little bump that unsettles the car and he can't control it, so we're up into first. We serve that penalty. Look behind us, and Just Dio is now closing in on us. But it does look like we'll still be ahead, which we are. That's probably the best run we've had through the S's yet, but you see we don't risk, after getting that penalty, we don't risk going for that inside line there. But as you can see, Just Dio has got a run on us here. We're going to go to the inside. Just Dio's to the outside. Brake as late as we can. TT can brake later, but he just turns in on us a little bit there, and we do touch him. So there is contact made, but I don't think there's anything in that. I've got the defending the inside line, which I have the right to do, and then coming through the chicane of death. And again, we get another good run through there, and as you can see by the delta, Just Dio must have hit the wall. So we'll just watch the replay from my point of view. As you see here, I'm protecting the inside. Just Dio goes to the outside, brake as late as I can. I do just ease off the brake because I want to make sure I stay on his inside, and he turns in and touches me, but I did get the apex, and I left him a car width in my opinion there on the outside. So let me know what you think. You see from his point of view here, just cleared me. No, he hasn't. See, he turns in, he must have thought he cleared me, but he hadn't cleared me, and he just turns in, and that's why there's contact. And as I said, I'd leave him a car width on the outside there, so in my opinion there's nothing wrong with that at all. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And you see, just messes up the chicane of death there and goes into the wall, unfortunately. So now we've got, what, 1.6 seconds to the car behind, so just one clean lap and we should be on for the win here. Which, this was the first race I had done this week, so to get a win in the first race is always a good start to the week. So So we're going to take it nice and easy on this one. Braking as you get to the orange barrier on the left. Cut as much of the curb as you can, which I didn't do much that time. If you're a bit slow, you can take the right hander flat, but you have to lift off if you get a good first part of the chicane. Then cut that right hander there, brake between the two bits of sand or bits of gravel, whatever you want to call it. Accelerate in second and up in third. And then looking for the orange barrier on the left there, just after the orange barrier, a little dab of brakes, and then a little brake and throttle control coming through. Going a bit quicker that time, so I went for that cut line and did it right that time. You've got to keep your two left wheels just on the curb, or you get a track limits. And then air braking just after the 150 board, down into second just before the apex. But again, go a little bit sideways there on the entry, and then change up just through the first part of the chicane, which I didn't actually do that time, and turn in as early as you can. But you look, we just had to lift at the end because we were going to hit that wall, so we just lifted off, took the wall on the left instead, which slows you down. But if you hit that wall on the right, you know, game over, you come to a stop. So I took the lesser of two evils there, knew I had the time. Brake early for the last corner because I'm ahead, and just take it nice and easy, run to the line, and a nice win for our first race of the week. But let me know what you thought of that incident with Just Dio. Was it worthy of him saying super dirty to me? And I have done it to people before, called them dirty, and then you watch the replay and it's not really dirty, it's maybe someone outbraking themselves. Which, talking about breaking themselves, that's what we're going to see in this next race, involving Just Dio again, who has improved his time. He's in first place, we're in fourth place here, so we'll see what happens in this one. But yeah, I think maybe you should try and look at the replays first before calling someone dirty. And as I said, I'm not saying I don't do it, I have done it before as well. So, but sometimes you look at the replays and it's not what you thought from your point of view. And as I said, I think he thinks he got in front of me there and turned in and I hit him wide, but from the replay I think it shows that he turned in and my nose was still there, and I did give him a car width on the outside, which is all I have to do, is give him a car width. So I gave him the car width. So to me, I just think that was strong racing from both of us, to be honest. You see, we just got a poor first corner and have to lift off not to go wide, which gives the Italian the run on us. So we just go slightly defensive. See, but we get that bump, but we managed to control it, and again we go defensive into the next right-hander. So unfortunately, being attacked by the Italian and that poor first corner, we've lost the slipstream already to the front three. So we're going to be looking to get back in it if we can. Very poor first part of the S that time. The Italian's all over the back of us again. And he has to give us a bump because he's got nowhere to go. So we're going to defend the inside here. And he's going to stick on the inside as well to squeeze me. And then he moves back to the outside to get the better line, and we just hold it in at the apex, give him the space on the outside, but he can't quite get the power down, so we hold on to that position. But good racing already. And then coming through the chicane again, get another little bump from behind there, and then we take it flat, and see, we definitely did it better than the Italian behind. He is now dropping off, as I said, but I do think it's much easier in the Viper than it is in the TT. The understeer of the TT makes it a bit sketchy sometimes going through the chicane, the death flat. But you see, there was a mistake up ahead which allows us to get back into slipstream range, but we have still got the Italian behind us to watch out for as well. Looks like the two in front are fighting as well, first and second. So we're going to half defend, he's got nowhere to go, but it does compromise our line a bit, and he gets a much better run through the corner. But again, he's got nowhere to go with it, and he does the sensible thing here, he sits behind us knowing that you can't really go too wide through that right-hander. But we're going to jump straight to the inside to protect it. we do, but again it's compromising our lines, which is allowing the car to head to gradually pull away. And now we need a good run into the S's if we can, and that's a much better run into the S's than we had last time. And you see it actually pulls us away from the Italian on the first part, but he starts to gain on us through the second part again with the slipstream. So we're going to have to go defensive again, but quite early he moves to the left so we don't have to go as defensive. And again he's got nowhere to go with that one, but Just Dio's off ahead, gone wide at that corner. And again you see here we're going to have to lift off now because we've got nowhere to go. So we lift off, but the Italian behind doesn't and gives us a bump, and luckily we've managed to keep it out that wall, because that's where you really don't want to bump from behind, is going through the depth chicane. But because I could see the Italian was quick, I didn't go for the move on Just Dio here because I was under pressure from the Italian, so I didn't want to go too wide there and allow the Italian fully in the fight. So as you see, I'm going to push Just Dio along here for the same reason. We've still got 2 laps to go, so we can look at overtaking Just Dio later on, but for now I thought it was better just to sit behind him and try and get clean lines. But you see we get hit by the Italian from behind again, so we know he's fast, but he's clearly not adjusting enough on his braking when he's following other cars. You know, don't think there's anything wrong with what he's doing or naughty with what he's doing. He's just seeing he gives me another little tap again there, so just needs to alter his braking a little bit when he's following cars, because he's not compromising enough, and I'm altering my braking for Just Dio right ahead of me, and unfortunately he's not altering his behind. But as I said, no harm done, so it's all fine with me in this one. But seeing he's probably not close enough this time to go for the move, even though in the last race the Brit in the TT did go for the move from that distance. So because the TT has got much better brakes than the Viper, but he doesn't, so we hold that position there. So now coming through the depth chicane, will there be any incidents? We're looking, no, but you see Just Dio struggling again in the TT there, so we get a much better run again. Looks like he had to lift and we took it flat again, so we get that move done down into the final turn. But we are out of slipstream now, so we have got the cars behind to deal with. But as you see, Just Dio going to repay the favour in this one. I bumped him the lap before, he's going to bump me in this lap, so thanks for that, Just Dio. So not going to defend the first corner, but you see the 2 cars in front, and he just ungoes right on the apex in front of me there, which was unfortunate. You know, I think the ghosting system was totally wrong there. Am I going to go for the move now? He is a bit slower, so he brakes earlier, brake late, get on the inside, and superb move there, I think. Not a move I normally go for because it's very dangerous, and you can ruin your race and the person in front's race if you miss your braking there. But I thought the gap was big enough and wide open to go for there, and luckily I got it stopped perfect. But I was going to show a replay of the 2 guys in front, but they were both lagging, so I don't think the replay really did it justice. I think it wasn't dirty, it was maybe lag caused them to come together. But as you see there, torpedo from Just Dio there. I had no idea at this point what happened, whether he had connected with the Spaniard, because as I said, the Spaniard was lagging a little bit. So I had no idea what happened, but we've gone from 2nd to 10th here, so let's have a look at this. From my point of view, coming into the corner, plenty of space, brake as late as we can, turn in, and just out of absolutely nowhere a rocket ship comes flying in and takes us out. So, you know, was that super dirty? But let's have a look here. He's racing the Spaniard, he's going for the move on the Spaniard, and I think he totally misses his braking point. And as you see, he hits the handbrake, which, to be fair, I think he hit the handbrake deliberately to try and make his car ghost, is what I'm guessing, because obviously once you go sideways, sometimes on this game the game will ghost you immediately, so I think that's what Just Dio was trying to do there. But you know, that move in my opinion dirtier than mine on him, but to be fair, he does stream, does Just Dio, so I went and looked at his point of view on his stream, and he was really apologetic, and he actually put himself down into last place here, and he was really apologetic. And when I watched it, I do think he just, bit of a brain fart, totally misjudged his braking point, and he tried to make his car ghost, and unfortunately it didn't, and we were taken out. So let me know your thoughts on anything that happened in those two races in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.